Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Alaska College Fair, virtual college fair. We have a killer lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening. But before I turn it over to them, I do have a couple of housekeeping items for you all. My name's Courtney, and I'm going to be your facilitator tonight. This is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening. But they know you're going to have some questions, and we do hope that you have some questions. So feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen at any time. Type your question, but also type out the school or institution that you're directing your question to so that they can answer that question appropriately. This is a really fun way to learn about colleges and universities. Maybe it's a college or university that you've heard of before. Maybe it's one that you're exploring for the first time. So we hope you have a good time this evening and this afternoon, and also that you sign up for more sessions. There's still 2 more hours of this this afternoon, and then there's also panel programs happening tomorrow. So sign up for more sessions. This is being recorded this evening and will be available for playback at strivescan.com/Alaska. So now I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter. First up, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Montana State University Bozeman. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Awesome, thank you. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. Let me pull this up real quick and I'll tell you a little bit about us. Okay. Yeah, so we're located in Bozeman, Montana. So we're in southwestern Montana. We're a town of about 60,000 people. Just to let you know a little bit about Bozeman. We're a super outdoorsy community, first off. So pretty much any outdoor activity you want to do that doesn't require the ocean, you can do in Bozeman. We've got 2 major ski areas really close to campus, within an hour of campus. We're about 90 miles from Yellowstone National Park. We're also surrounded by 80 miles of hiking and biking trails. We're the #1 fly fishing university in the country, so we're nicknamed Trout U. So we've got 3 blue ribbon fly fishing rivers around us. So we're a really great place to go to school if you're very into outdoor activities. We're also a very welcoming community in terms of if you are inexperienced, you want to try something new. There's a lot of great opportunities to get involved in our community. So to let you know a little bit more about MSU as a university, so we're at 16,841 students. So we are the largest university in the state of Montana, but a little bit more of a mid-sized institution nationally. We're about 50% in-state, 50% out of state. What's really great about that, so you get to meet a lot of people that are originally from Montana, know a little bit more about the Montana atmosphere. But there's also people from 48 different states and 60 different countries. So you get to meet people from all sorts of different backgrounds. And so we've got really kind of the support of a smaller university in terms of our community feel, but we have the opportunities of a larger university. But if you're seeing that number and kind of wondering how to get involved with a university that size, we've got over 300 different clubs and student groups on campus, and it's really easy to start a new club. So we have what we call MSU Debut, where all the clubs set up in the middle of campus and you can walk around, get to know the people, and that's just the first weekend after you move in. So there's a lot of great ways to get involved. We also are a D1 division school for athletics, and every student gets free tickets to our athletic events. So we had a football game yesterday, and we've got our Cat Grizz game coming up next weekend, which is our rival game against University of Montana. That's a really fun way to be involved as well. To tell you a little bit more about our academics at MSU, the first thing that we always like to talk about is our research. So we are the only top tier research university in our region. We are 8th in the nation for research expenditures. So every student is required to conduct research before graduating. We spent over $193 million on research last year. So there's a lot of great access to research as a student at MSU. You can be involved in it as soon as your freshman year. And that for us really just means that we want you to have that deeper hands-on experience with your education outside of the classroom. In terms of what you can study at MSU, so we have over 250 different academic programs. So there's a lot of variety. Here's kind of a list of all of our colleges. We're very, very well known for our College of Nursing, as well as College of Engineering and College of Business as well. We also have the only architecture program in the state of Montana, which we're very proud of. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for different levels of study at MSU. In terms of how to apply to MSU, so we are on a rolling admissions basis and we are non-binding. So we don't have any hard deadlines for applications, or we don't have any commitment days. So what first ties you to MSU is paying your first tuition payment. So it's pretty simple. Our application also takes about 20 minutes. We don't require any essays or letters of recommendation. We're also test score optional now for both admission and for scholarships. So that's something a lot of people are really excited about. Usually takes us about 2 to 3 weeks to get back to you with an admissions decision. And after you apply to MSU, another good thing to watch for is scholarships. So we have several scholarships for out-of-state students specifically. For those of you in Alaska, the WUI scholarship gives you about 150% of in-state tuition. So it's worth almost $19,000 a year, as well as we have automatic merit-based scholarships just based off of your high school GPA, and some other scholarships you can apply for as you're looking at going to MSU. So if you want to read up a little bit more about those, go to montana.edu/scholarships. And then this is our admissions checklist. So you've applied to MSU, you've gotten in, you've gotten some scholarships. The only things left after that in order to attend MSU are filling out a housing application, registering for freshman orientation, and sending us your official high school transcripts once you graduate. So yeah, that's just a little bit about us. Here's my contact information. I'll also be putting this in the chat right after this, but yeah, my whole role here at MSU is to meet with prospective students and help answer your questions. So if you have any questions during this session or want to contact me sometime after, here's the best way to do that. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Caleb, to you and Montana State University Bozeman. Next up, I would like to present to you Montana State University Billings. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Let me get my presentation going here. All right, we are Montana State University Billings. We are 2 hours east of Bozeman and the third largest university in the state of Montana. So we have about 4,100 students enrolled at the university here. We have 2 campuses. We have a tech school, which are mostly trades, and then we have our 4-year university, which you'll find bachelor's degrees and masters. Founded in 1927, we have over 60 clubs and organizations. Our average class size is about 23 students, and we have a faculty to student ratio of 1:14. We also have 16 Division II NCAA sports. We're the only Division II school in the state of Montana and the only 4-year school to have a baseball program. So that's kind of unique to our campus. 88% of our faculty hold the highest degree in their field, and we do not have any classes taught by graduate assistants. It's all taught by professors who are professionals in their field. All right. Billings, Montana, where we're located, is the largest city in Montana. We have over 100,000 people. We have the only zoo in Montana, Zoo Montana. So if you like to check out some red pandas, bears, tigers, and I'm told they have a sloth now, so that's kind of cool. We have a number of multiplex theaters. We have over 67 miles of hiking and biking trails. We have a big, strong local community with a strong economy. We have music and art venues, tons of restaurants, and we have Montana's largest business district with international, national, and regional and state and local businesses. We also are home to the 2 largest hospitals in the state of Montana, which are right across the street from our campus, which is kind of nice. We also have a pretty good size airport. It's currently going over a pretty extensive remodel. We have 13 flights to, or 13 airlines that connect to 13 destinations outside of Montana. So a little bit about our academic colleges. We have 5 academic colleges: business, city college, education, health professions and science, liberal arts, and social sciences. Our College of Business, we have over 25 client-based projects per year. Over 90% of College of Business graduates are employed after graduation, many with the same firm as they did their internship with. And our College of Business is in company with about 5% of the world's business schools that have a national accreditation called AACSB. It's pretty limited in how many accreditations that organization awards. We're home to the Montana Business Hall of Fame, and we have flexible course offerings, both online, on campus, and HighFlex. All right, our College of Education, we certify elementary and secondary educators. We have master's degrees. You start getting field practice as soon as your freshman year, and we're fully certified with the state of Montana upon graduation. Our College of Health Professions and Science, we have a brand new state-of-the-art building called Yellowstone Science and Health Building. We house our nursing programs and all of our health and human performance programs in there. You do research with our science faculty. We also have a Master's of Science in Athletic Training, which is a 3+2 program. 3 years is a bachelor's degree and then 2 years for your master's, along with rehabilitation and human services. College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, we have just a few degrees here listed. We have many more if you check out our website. Art, criminal justice, English, environmental studies, history, music, psychology, just to name a few. Those are some of our bigger programs. Student life, we have, like I said before, over 60 clubs and organizations, 10 study abroad programs, over 10, over 70 nonprofit community partners, and a variety of intramural sports that you can participate in each semester. We also have 2 residence halls, Petro and Rimrock Hall. Singles and doubles are available. They do a lot of different activities and house services there. We have computer labs with free printing in each hall. We have laundry services, kitchenettes, television. We have a lobby with a TV and cable, full Wi-Fi, beverage and snack machines, mail service, fitness center, RAs. Halls are available over the breaks, and we have ice machines. All right, a little bit about our athletics programs. You can see the list here. We have, like I said, 16 men's and women's programs. We participate in the GNAC conference, Division II. And right now we're pretty much starting basketball season. So looking forward to that. All right. Affordability, we have over $1.8 million in scholarships awarded annually. We're a small public university, but you kind of get that private college feel just because of our size. And we also offer the Western Undergraduate Exchange. Here's a look at our tuition. You'll see with WUI, $86.70 is for a year. And we don't need you to do anything in particular for WUI. All you got to do is apply for admission. And if you meet our admission requirements, you are eligible. A little bit about our student support here. Next steps, apply. We have rolling admissions and scholarship deadline is February 1st. Here's our information. Thanks for joining me today. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend.
Thanks so much to you and Montana State University Billings. Next up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Oregon State University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Amanda. I work in the Office of Admissions at OSU in Corvallis. That's our main campus. The next slide is going to be a picture of a great state of Oregon. There we go. So our home base is Corvallis, and I'll talk primarily about that, but I do want to bring to your attention the fact that we have 2 other campuses. We have one in my hometown of Bend called OSU Cascades. And for students that have known about Oregon State and know it's a larger institution and want to rep the black and orange, but maybe you want a smaller campus feel, this could be a good fit because there's only about 1,600 students at OSU Cascades compared to the 30,000 over on the Corvallis campus. OSU Cascades has programs like business and biology, but they also have programs like tourism, recreation, and outdoor leadership because of where they're located. Bend is a tourist mecca. And so if you want to own your own whitewater rafting company, you could do that and learn how to do that at OSU Cascades. Hop, skip, and a jump over to Newport, Oregon on the coast. We own and operate Hatfield Marine Science Center. So if you're a student that wants to study the ocean, marine biology, oceanography, you name it, it's a residential campus where you can go out there and take classes, live there, and then finish up your schooling. But we're going to stick to the home base of Corvallis. Corvallis, translated from Latin, means heart of the valley, which I think is such a perfect way to say that because it really is in the heart of it all. You see the picture in the top right-hand corner. Our town itself is at the base of the coastal range, beautiful hills. We're about an hour and a half south of Portland, our big metropolitan area, the city, and then about 45 minutes to an hour away from the coast, depending on how fast you drive. Corvallis is what you'd call a traditional college town. So anytime you've ever seen a movie or a TV show that depicts a college and you have the brick buildings and the history and the green. I know for myself, I grew up watching a lot of Gilmore Girls, so I wanted to go to a school that looked like Yale. Oregon State definitely looks like Yale. It just has everything I thought I wanted an academic environment to be. We have, of course, part of the Pac-12 Division I sports, so game day events are a lot of fun. We did have a game as well yesterday, which we won, so go Beavs, such a fun thing to be a student and participate in that. And there's so many ways that you can get involved apart from your academics within one of our 400 different student clubs and organizations. I can't mention all of them, but my two favorite ones are our live action battleship club, where students will play battleship in our swimming pool and try to sink each other. Don't really know how that works. And then the McDonald's Appreciation Club, where they just sit around and they appreciate McDonald's. So, I mean, if we have those two, you can bet we probably have something you'd be interested in. We have over 200 different academic programs that we house in 11 different colleges, and you'll see them listed here. So we were founded as the agricultural school back in the day. We used to be called the Oregon Agricultural College. And it's not just cows and plows, but if you did want to go on and become a farmer or a rancher, you could do that. But it also is home to our food science and technology program, or viticulture if you want to be a winemaker or brewer. You can make beer, so that would be the home for that. Our College of Business students, their very first year will actually do their own micro business. So OSU will give you money to start your own company. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have the big idea, you can actually put that out there, try to turn a profit, but lose no money yourself. And so get that experience and that training. Earth, ocean, and atmospheric sciences, studying environmental sciences or geology, or going to the marine studies program. If that's for you, that would be your home school. Engineering is kind of our bread and butter. It's what Oregon State is definitely known for the most. And there are so many different disciplines. We actually have the most engineering majors of any school in Oregon. So if you wanted to do something in aerospace, or if you want to be a mechanical engineer and work in robotics, you name it, there's so much work going on there. Our College of Education is a double degree program where you'll study in what you want to teach. So English, math, history, you get the idea. And then the double degree is your licensure process, so that once you're done at Oregon State, you'll be licensed to teach. And we have a lot of reciprocity across the United States. So not just in Oregon, but even maybe in Alaska. Our College of Forestry is the #1 school in the United States. It's a smaller program, so you get lots of personalized attention. And then being, of course, in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, a lot of forest to study. The College of Liberal Arts is my home base. I studied speech communications and loved it. And now I get to talk for a living. Go Beavs, they did well by me. But it's also home to our artists, those that want to study the human mind and behavior and psychology, music, if you wanted to do those things. Public health and human sciences, a big hot topic right now, given that there's a pandemic happening, right? But if you wanted to study public health and understand that a little bit more, or maybe you want to do exercise sports science, you could study kinesiology, and that's where you're going to find that major. We're also the oldest pharmacy school. And so if you want to do the entire doctoral program, you can on our campus. And then our College of Science, it's a wonderful place for those students who love to do research or want to become a doctor, a nurse, a PA in the future, a great base for that work. And then we're the only veterinary medicine school in this state. So working with animals and doing the full doctoral program. If you remember nothing else from my presentation, this is probably the most important thing about OSU. Research is talked a lot about in different colleges, but OSU is only one of 3 schools in the entire United States to have all 4 federal grants of land, sea, sun, and space. So that means that we have a ton of research dollars for you to start at your first year. So OSU, I'll go through this really quickly because I see Courtney's beautiful face. But when you apply for admission, you're just going to have to be looking at these couple different things, your strength of curriculum, the classes you've taken. We don't have a required minimum GPA, but if you do decide to apply, you're either going through the common application or our homegrown app. We are part of WUI as well, so make sure to keep us on your list. And then that's it. Thanks so much for having me.
Amanda, thanks so much to you and Oregon State University. Audience, don't forget, you can put those questions in the Q&A at any time. Next up, I'm happy to introduce to you the University of Idaho. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi, thank you. I'm Matt Johnson, Associate Director of Admissions here at the University of Idaho. So I'm honored and privileged to be able to talk to you about my great college. So if you're not familiar with the state of Idaho, you've heard from Montana and Oregon. We're actually the state in between it. And Moscow is a town in the northern part of the state, sandwiched between the Rocky Mountains and the Plush Prairie. If you follow those lines, you can see where Moscow is. A little bit about the university itself. Sorry, touchy mouse. The university was founded in 1889, so it's actually older than the state of Idaho, which is kind of unique. Also unique is that we're the only Vandal mascot out of any university or college in the United States. We're the land grant institution for the state of Idaho, meaning we were founded to ensure that we had quality science, military science, ag, and engineering. But obviously since then, we've added all the different liberal arts and just about anything that you would want to study. I'd like to start off by just saying that we were voted, or founded by U.S. News and World Report as second best in the nation, best in the West for public universities in terms of value. So we climbed up one from third best last year to second best this year, and hopefully we'll unseat UNC and Chapel Hill next year. So when it comes to your return on investment, the University of Idaho is a top notch. The university itself is about 10 to 11,000 students. That includes undergraduate all the way up to graduate and PhD candidates. So it kind of sits in that sweet spot. It's kind of a Goldilocks of schools where it's big enough to matter, small enough to care. You'll be known on campus, but there's certainly days that you may want to be anonymous. Great student faculty ratio, something that you should consider as you compare between different colleges and universities. So we have 10 different colleges, 8 of them are undergraduate, and your major would reside in one of those 8 colleges. The other 2 colleges is the law school, the only law school for the state of Idaho, as well as the graduate studies. So anything you want to study, we likely have. I offer on our uidaho.edu website, type in the search engine degree finder, type in whatever it is that you're interested or thinking about studying, and that search engine will give you 6, 7, 8 different similar majors that you might want to study or consider that are similar to what you put in there. I'm going to show 2 pictures of just kind of really neat opportunities. This is study semester in the wild. You take your fall semester and you go into the Frank Church Wilderness of No Return. It sits in the middle part of the state, and you take all of your classes for a semester there. You don't have to be a wilderness or a forestry major, but it's just kind of a really neat opportunity. They have to fly you in there, fly professors in there every couple weeks, and you live in the wilderness area. You live in cabins, so it's not entirely remote. And then here you have a picture of a college in the United Kingdom. And I share this just whenever you have an opportunity to study abroad. It's a great thing to do. So usually there's a program with another college or sister school in another country to take advantage of that. And the University of Idaho highly encourages that, as well as tries to make it cost neutral for you, so it doesn't cost you any more to do that. We are a D1 school, so it's fun, to follow D1 sports. A lot of different clubs and organizations that you can be a part of. Anything from Quidditch to Quiz Bowl to volleyball. Anything you want to do is likely available. And if not, then you can find some friends and start your own club. And because we're located in Idaho, our outdoor program is phenomenal just because of the location, as you can find in the Northwest, access to sports in all 4 seasons. And then, I would emphasize that it's a kind of a classic campus. So it really has almost an Ivy League feel. And it's really kind of right size. It's about a 10-15 minute walk anywhere on campus. Moscow is a fun town, about 25,000, great coffee shops, and it's kind of a foodie town. So it sits right next to the university, so it's easily accessible. And now to kind of conclude, we are a rolling application, so you can apply for admission anytime. The application itself takes about 15 minutes. And then once it's matched up with your junior year transcript, we can get you admitted. So it's really easy. Don't wait to do it, but please consider doing that. Because we are also test optional for this next year. 2.6 GPA will get you admitted. And your application for admissions, also your application for scholarships. So there's nothing extra you need to do. And then finally, we're a WUI school, no caveats. Doesn't matter your GPA, doesn't matter what you're studying. You're going to get the WUI scholarship, pegged at 1.5 times our in-state tuition. So that's that number you see there of 11,400 some bucks. So, and cost of living isn't too bad down here for housing mills. That's another thing to consider. So, still really affordable school. And as I started with, that's your return on investment, the value based off what you're paying for what you get out of it. That's my contact information, so I'd love to hear from you. I support the state of Alaska, so please let me know. If you have any questions, please chat me. With that, thank you.
Matt, thank you so much to you and the University of Idaho. Next up, you'll get to hear from the University of Montana Western. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chrissy Stokes. I'm with the University of Montana Western. Just to kind of tell you about where we're at, Montana Western is a small public institution located in Dillon, Montana. Dillon itself is in the southwestern corner of the state. It's absolutely gorgeous there. We are completely surrounded by mountains, so we are just minutes away from outdoor activities like hiking, biking, skiing, snowboarding, hunting, and fishing. Our students also are able to participate in numerous clubs and intramural activities, as well as athletic programs to keep themselves busy throughout the school year. So Montana Western is the only four-year public institution in the nation that runs on a block schedule that we call Experience One, and this is how that program works. So our students focus on one course at a time. They take one class for 3.5 weeks or 18 school days, and they only go to class for 3 hours a day. At the end of their course, students take their final, then they get a 4-day weekend before they start a brand new class. All of our block classes are 4 credits apiece, so they are able to get 16 credits each semester, which does keep them on track for graduating within 4 years. Now, this program really could not be any simpler. Our students are just focusing on that one subject. They are only working with one professor, and the best part is they only have to take one final. So our classes are being taught by actual professors, and we do cap each class at 25. Average class size is 15. So no matter what, students really get to know their professors and the other students in their class really well. This is what a typical semester could look like. Students will either have a morning class from 8:15 to 11:15 or an afternoon class from 12:15 to 3:15. That's the only time that they actually have to be in class, and it's going to stay that way throughout the entire block. The rest of their time is their own. So they can study for their class, they can be a part of clubs or athletics and be really active on campus. They can have part-time jobs, and they can even take a nap and not feel guilty about it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. This program also comes with a lot of flexibility. Obviously, with a 3.5-week course, if students happen to get sick or have something pull them outside of class, that can mean missing a lot of information. So if something like that were to happen, students can drop that class and pick it up at a later time, but it would not mess with their full-time status. In order to be considered a full-time student, students only have to complete 12 credits each semester. So that means that if they were needing to switch out a class, they would not have to worry about falling behind and losing their financial aid or scholarships or anything like that. Here's a list of our academic departments. So we do have numerous programs within each of these departments, and students can find out more information about this on our website at umwestern.edu, or I'd be happy to answer any questions about them. Our top 5 programs on campus are education, biology, business, health and human performance, and equine studies. We want our students to actually experience their education. So they don't spend their entire class time in the classroom. They're actually out in the Dillon community. They're getting their hands dirty. They're working in the areas where they would be working in actual work experiences. And we don't just stick to the Dillon community either. Sometimes our students are able to go to other countries to study for a block. Instead of going for an entire semester, our students are just gone for 3.5 weeks. They do go with Montana Western professors and other Montana Western students. So that doesn't mess up the rest of their class schedule, but they're still able to have that experience if they'd like. We really want to educate the entire person. As I said, we don't want students just sitting in class listening to lecture and taking notes. We want them to experience their education, and we want them to graduate with about 2 to 3 years of experience in their field of study. That can actually set them apart from other students and give them a leg up when it comes to graduate programs or going into the workforce. Kind of switching gears here to the application process. Good news is we are here to work with you every step of the way. We're also on rolling admission, so you can apply at any time. But just know that sometimes your admissions application is tied to other things like scholarship applications. So one thing I'd like to point out, we are test optional. And so if students want to submit those test scores, great. If not, it's not going to be held against you. Just giving you an idea of what our 4-year requirements are, here is that list. I'm not going to go through these too much, but if students have questions about them, I'd be happy to answer them in the Q&A, and I will be leaving my contact information at the very end as well. Now looking at the cost of attendance for this academic school year, for out-of-state tuition, it's about $16,000 a year for our out-of-state students, but we are also a part of the WUI scholarship. We just look for our students to meet a 3.0 cumulative GPA or higher coming out of high school. If students meet that, tuition is going to drop down over $9,000. So our WUI students are paying less than $6,800 a year for tuition. That's a huge savings, and that scholarship is stackable, so you can actually add additional scholarships on top of it. So looking at the scholarship process, we do have our students fill out one general online application for the rest of our scholarships. That opened up on November 1st, and it's due by January 15th. You just have to complete that one online application to be put in for all of our university scholarships. Now for athletic scholarships, if students are interested in that, those all come directly through the coaches. So you'd want to reach out to them if you have questions about that. We are open and available for campus visits. So if students would like to come and visit campus, they certainly can, but we are also available for virtual visits too. If students were going to come to campus, I would suggest Friday, March 18th. That's our big campus preview day on campus. It's called X Day. Come and spend the day with us so we can show you what Montana Western's all about. Here is my contact information. So again, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I will share this in the chat. Thank you, everyone.
Christy, thanks so much to you and University of Montana Western. Our final presentation tonight will be from the University of Oregon. Juan, take it away whenever you're ready.
Hey there, yeah, just give me just 1 second to get all set up. Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Juan. My pronouns are he, him, his, and they, them, theirs. I'm an admissions counselor here at the University of Oregon, but before that, I was actually an alum. I graduated back in 2020 from the School of Journalism and Communications. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Autumn Forspring, and Autumn is actually the Native American Recruitment Coordinator here at the UO. And today, she's graciously agreed to help me out with Q&A and later on during the session. And with that, let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to talk about is that we have 22,000 total students here on campus, and that's actually broken down with it being 18,000 undergraduates and about 4,000 graduate students. What's really cool is that the UO is actually considered a mid-sized institution, which means you get the best of both worlds, because ultimately you get the resources of a large institution, but within your specific program, you can feel tight-knit like a family if you'd like to. By the way, students here come from all 50 states and from 101 different countries. So not only do we have great geographic diversity here at the UO, but there's always going to be the opportunity to get different worldviews than your own. We're a Tier 1 national public research university, and about 74% of students across all majors are engaged in research activities here on campus. We're also a member of the Association of American Universities, which is an exclusive invite-only cohort for schools that are recognized for their academic and interdisciplinary research. Out of all the schools in North America, the UO is one in 65 schools with this distinction. Others in our cohort include the University of Washington, MIT, Cornell, and Harvard. And when it comes to our faculty here, we have a Nobel Prize winner in our faculty. We also have 2 National Medal of Science recipients, and we also have not 1, not 2, but 3 Pulitzer Prize winning professors. And I know that last one is true for sure, because I had a Pulitzer Prize winning professor for 2 terms in the School of Journalism and Communications when I was majoring in journalism. On that note, cue a great segue. Here are some of the top majors that we offer here at the UO. Please note that this list is not exhaustive, and actually at the University of Oregon, we offer over 168 undergraduate academic programs, and that actually breaks down to be a little over 80 different majors. So there's something for everyone. Something else I just want to talk about is the location where the UO is located. And so the UO is in the city of Eugene, which is the second largest city here in the state of Oregon. We're in this sweet middle spot and we're the quintessential college town. A 2-hour drive north from Eugene is going to be downtown Portland. A 1-hour drive from Eugene is going to be the beautiful Cascade Mountains. And a 1-hour drive to the west from Eugene is going to be the beautiful Oregon coastline. You really can't go wrong. And something else I want to point out is that Eugene actually has its very own airport. And something that people from my office actually do when they're traveling to Alaska is that sometimes they'll just fly straight out of Eugene, have a 1 or 2 hour layover in Seattle, and then head straight into their Alaskan destination. Something else I like to point out is that we're the #1 green city, and that's based on factors of air quality, recycling, bike, transit, and more. On that last note, I want to mention that public transit here in Eugene works amazingly, and it's free for all UO students. And public transit here also connects to our neighboring city, Springfield, and that's still free, which is really cool. Another thing I like to mention is that when it comes to living in Oregon, and more specifically Eugene, you get the best of all 4 seasons without any of it being too much. It's always going to be just the right amount. But ultimately, there's also life outside of the classroom here at the UO. And we have not only over 300 different clubs and organizations, but we have quite a few Division I sports. We also have intramural sports, and we also have club sports. So there's something for everyone of any level of athleticism to get involved. And when it comes to the clubs and organizations we have on campus, I like to think that there's something for everyone. There was always something for me when I was a student here, but something else that's really cool is that it's really easy to make your own club if you don't necessarily click with anything, and that's totally okay. Something else I like to mention is that the University of Oregon is one of the top 20 LGBTQ+ friendly schools in the nation, and we're actually the #1 LGBTQ+ friendly college here in the state of Oregon. And hopefully by now I've gotten you a little bit excited about the UO. So let's just take a minute to dive in and talk about how to get in. So at the University of Oregon, we do admissions on a rolling basis and we take a holistic approach. And so what that means is that we're looking at the full picture. There's not one thing that gets you admitted and there's not one thing that gets you denied. So when it comes to looking at GPA, for instance, we're also looking at grade trend. Like for instance, we recognize that some students struggle with the transition from middle school to high school. So did your grades start to get better as you went on during your high school career? We're also looking at the level of courses that you're taking. You know, what challenging courses from your high school are you putting on your schedule? And also, of course, we're looking at your senior schedule. When it comes to life outside the classroom, not only can we sometimes look at, for instance, like extracurricular activities offered through your school, but we also can look at, for instance, any jobs that you might have or any family responsibilities that you might have. All of them are completely valid because ultimately we're just trying to see what you're doing outside of the classroom. The UO is also permanently test optional. And so if you feel as though your ACT or SAT scores strengthen your application, you're more than welcome to send them along, but students who choose not to send their scores are not at a disadvantage over students who do. And we actually had more students last year submit without SAT or ACT scores than students who did. We also asked for one required personal statement of 650 words, and we have over 6 different prompts to choose from, or you could always make your own. When it comes to deadlines, the November 1st early action deadline has passed, but coming up is the January 15th deadline. And when you apply by January 15th, you actually get an admissions decision from us by April 1st. And again, you can apply a little before these deadlines. And what's really cool is that we don't release decisions all at once. It really is based on when you apply and how long it takes us to assess your application. One last thing I want to note before I get into contact info for me and Autumn is that at the UO, we offer a very unique financial aid program, and that's called the Oregon Guarantee. So the moment you step on campus, your first term of your first year, your price of tuition will freeze for the next 5 years. This is something that I like to point out to all students because, again, it is something very unique that not many other schools offer. And with that, here is Autumn and myself's contact info. We'll also be sure to post it in the chat in just a moment. But thank you, everyone, for taking the time to learn more about the University of Oregon.
Thank you so much to the University of Oregon. I'd now like to invite all of our panelists, speakers to turn back on their cameras and to share a little bit of advice and also a little bit more about their institution. So the first question I'm going to pose to you guys, and we'll go in the same order that you presented. what is one thing that you'd like students and families to remember about your institution? So Montana State University, Bozeman up first.
Oh, yep. Thank you. I guess one thing I'd want you all to remember about MSU is that research component I talked about. I mean, why I chose to go to MSU is I felt like I had options to explore different majors. I had changed majors in school, and I felt like I could, change my mind and still do something really well. And I think that our 100% involvement in research really like deepens that hands-on experience in your curriculum, and it's something we're really proud of.
My turn. All right. One other thing that I just would like students to remember about Billings and Montana State University Billings is we're kind of an unknown city in Montana, but we're on the east range of the Rocky Mountains, and we still are pretty accessible to some great outdoor opportunities. If you'd like to ski or snowboard, it's about an hour away. And we also have some fantastic fly fishing if you like to fish the Yellowstone or the Bighorn River, or do some hiking in the Beartooths. So there you go.
I think a theme is going to be the location and the research opportunities that we all offer, but I do think those are big components about why you would choose to go to a school. And I think I'll stick on location, but research is huge. Our campus culture at OSU, I love it so much. It's a big campus, but it's a small town, and so you get the best of all worlds. And so I would say, come check it out, go visit your campuses. That's the best way to know.
Yeah, kind of those themes, but I guess I would say for the University of Idaho, the size I had mentioned, we're kind of Goldilocks. So we're right at kind of that sweet spot where you have all the bells and whistles of a large research university, but it's not overwhelming in the student population, that everything isn't accessible, that the financial aid counselor isn't going to know your name. You won't be able to work through issues or problems and get things done. So in this case, I think the size here, matters and is helpful.
So with Montana Western being probably the smallest school here today, we only have about 1,400 students. And so our students really do know a lot of people on campus. Your professors are going to know you by name. They will know if you show up for class. So sometimes it's a gift and a curse. But what's really nice is everyone is here for you. Everyone is going to help you get onto the next stage of your life. So whether that is your professors, your classmates, the staff members, everyone is going to be here for your best interests and help you every way that they can.
I'm going to answer this question for University of Oregon. I love what everyone just said, and I feel like University of Oregon can echo that. The one thing that I'll add for University of Oregon specifically is, we have our admissions counselors here to support students through that first step of getting in. And then I feel like the University of Oregon is one that really supports a student in their whole self throughout their entire academic journey. So they'll always have someone to support them throughout their 4 or maybe more years here. Thank you.
I love all of those great things that you guys shared. Next up, I'm going to tap into your experience as admissions professionals. So if you could quickly give one quick piece of advice to students and families going through the search process, the admissions process, and we'll go in that same order.
Yeah, one piece of advice would be to please utilize us as resources. I think when I was looking at colleges, I felt too intimidated to reach out to the university to ask questions that maybe I felt like I should be able to figure out on my own. But our whole jobs for pretty much everyone here is to talk with you and answer your questions or find the people to connect you with on campus. So it makes our days to answer those questions and make you feel more secured in the colleges you're looking at. So please reach out to us.
I guess my piece of advice is to apply for scholarships. You just never know what you'll be eligible for. I talk to so many students that don't think they have a high enough GPA or don't think they have a high enough ACT or SAT score. Yeah, those are important, but scholarships can be based on other things too. So definitely get out there and give it a shot.
I'm just going to reiterate what I already said, but go visit your schools. It makes a huge difference. I was not considering going to Oregon State when I was in high school, and then I came to campus, and then I've been here for 15 years. So go visit.
Yeah, I have to reiterate that. Go visit. You'll find your fit and the kind of vibe or the culture on a campus. So, all the schools listed here, you can come down for a couple days or a week and kind of drive the long days, but visit, but also do the formal part of the visit. If the campus is open, take a tour. That'll be insightful. Don't just do a windshield tour through campus.
Everyone has already taken my answer, so thanks, guys. I will also say, if possible, try and talk to professors or current students while you're either going through this process or while you're on campus, because current students are going to tell you how it is. And we're here to answer a lot of questions, but I have not been a college student for a long time. And so I don't know what life is like for our college students. So it's best if you can reach out to them too.
Yeah, I love all of these answers. One thing that we say in the admissions department, even to each other as we're going through this with students, is no question is a silly question. Thank you, Juan, for reminding me of that. And I also just want to say, for everyone who's looking at colleges right now, like, center yourself in your college search, because ultimately you're looking for what will fit you the best. And this is about you and your journey.
Well, I knew that you guys would have some excellent advice to share. Thank you. I would just add, have some fun. This is obviously, it can be an overwhelming time, but it can also be a really fun and exciting and certainly transformative time. Thanks for joining us. There'll be a quick 5-question survey on your, as you close out. Sign up for more sessions. There's still more available later this afternoon and certainly tomorrow. And this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Alaska. Best wishes with your college search, everyone. Bye-bye.